22 years ago today, on September 11th, 2001, there was the Twin Towers in New York City in Manhattan Square, Town Square. They were two of the biggest buildings that anyone has ever seen in the entire history of New York City, in the state of New York entirely. And it seemed to be about any normal day at first. It was like there was an airport just down the road, somewhere around there, that housed a lot of children and a lot of people in these two airplanes going to Disney World or whatever. When suddenly, a bunch of ISIS terrorists, led by the now rightfully deceased Osama bin Laden from Iraq, during the height of the Iraqi war in the United States military, under the leadership of the president at the time, George W. Bush. And these two planes were hijacked by these terrorist thugs, and they were veering straight for the Twin Towers and destroyed both of them. Once, as a complete and total surprise, and it landed on live news everywhere of all the ruckus going on in the rubble from the center of the building. And then, on live TV, national TV everywhere in this country, another plane crashed into the second building in the Twin Towers facility. So in other words, hundreds of thousands of innocent people lost their lives on that tragic day in the afternoon, right at the start, pretty much, of my own lifetime. And it's therefore I say unto thee now, by the power invested in me by my begotten Father, Jesus Christ himself, never, ever, ever forget the 9/11 terrorist attacks. That is one of the major key events that was even predicted by the Bible in some verses, that before the chosen one comes out of his mother's womb, some of these things, tragedies and even miracles, shall happen to proclaim my birth. And let's just say that there was like a vision that one of John's visions had to do with Revelation, had to do with like the start of the whole thing, and in the heights of the start of the whole thing. From the beginning, there was like two dragons, which of course it's in the secret scripture in the text, and possibly also only in the Hebrew Bible. Either way, it's still in the Holy Bible in general. There were two dragons sent by Satan, quote unquote, Satan, or Lucifer and his angels, whatever, that would just dive into two massive trees in the jungles of Carthage or wherever it is, because John was still on Patmos thanks to the exile of the, at the time, Christian persecuting Roman Empire. And these key events, such as 9/11 and the inauguration of George W. Bush, just 2 months shy of me being conceived by my mother, around the same time as my mother conceiving the child for herself, who is also a doppelganger for me, who will die before me as well. That she's also passed away, as I mentioned before in this channel, just 3 months ago. Now, I say to you now, do not ever forget. You'll see on my community post I posted the same thing. I even said, and I quote, "Do not forget, my girls. Never forget," or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it said, so don't quote me on these. But even though I just said I quote, but that doesn't matter now. The point is, we say never forget, but yet genocides happen all over the world. But during my imperial royalist, worldwide spanning, United States ruling by monarchs like me, for example, and during our multi-dynastic 1,000-year regime, these people who persecuted us, persecuted our people, persecuted even the most godly of even Muslims or Hindus, even people of other faiths besides the two major Abrahamic faiths led by Isaac, the second-born of Abraham and son of Sarah. While in contrast, Ishmael, his firstborn son, was birthed by, and naturally and everything, by, not supernatural like it was Sarah with Isaac, but Hagar from Egypt to Ishmael. Now, you must ask yourselves, why in God's green earth are we still here suffering these atrocities? Well, the answer is simple. I am no longer just coming. I'm already here making my moves into making this world a better place and to start finishing what the Lord has started, to do my Father's work, my Father from above, not any of them from this earth. None of my all my fathers up there will demand everything in my life to be perfectly normal and everything perfectly as I ask. You see, Misa, Melody 3928. All of this is at stake